When people think about fasting, they often imagine something like this. You wake up feeling motivated. You decide to fast, and you simply stay motivated long enough to finish it. But everyone who has actually done an extended fast knows something very important. Motivation disappears very quickly, sometimes after a day and sometimes after a few hours. And that's exactly why motivation is one of the least reliable tools you can use during extended fasting. Motivation is emotional, and emotions change constantly. Now, what actually carries people through longer fasts isn't motivation at all. It's something much more stable, something quieter. And once you understand that difference, fasting becomes much easier to approach. Motivation feels powerful in the beginning. You watch a video about fasting, you read about the benefits, you feel inspired to improve your health. And suddenly, the idea of fasting feels exciting. But motivation has one major weakness. It's temporary. It comes and goes depending on how you feel in the moment. Some days you feel strong and determined, and other days you feel tired, hungry, and uncertain. And during an extended fast, those moments will absolutely happen. There will be hours where the excitement disappears, moments when your mind starts questioning the decision, and moments where your brain simply wants comfort. If motivation is the only thing holding the fast together, those moments can easily break it. Which is why relying on motivation alone often leads to frustration, because motivation was never designed to carry long-term challenges. If motivation isn't reliable, what actually helps people complete extended fasts? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. It's structure, clarity, and commitment. When someone starts a fast knowing what they are doing and why they are doing it, how long they intend to go, and what they expect to experience, well, something changes. The fast stops being an emotional decision. It becomes a process. Instead of constantly asking, do I feel like continuing? The question becomes much simpler. Am I following the plan I decided on? And that small shift removes a lot of mental struggle, because the decision was already made before the difficult moments appeared. Extended fasting is often misunderstood. People imagine it as constant suffering. But the reality is much more nuanced. There are moments of hunger. There are moments of low energy. There are moments when your mind tries to convince you that eating would be easier. But there are also moments of clarity, moments of calm, moments when the body settles into a process. Now, what many people discover is that fasting is not just physical, it's deeply mental. It reveals how often we rely on food for comfort. It also reveals how often habits control our behavior and how quickly the mind tries to negotiate its way out of discomfort. Mine certainly does. But this is also where growth happens, because learning to observe those impulses without immediately reacting to them builds a different kind of strength. Now, there is an important difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation asks you, do I feel like doing this today? But discipline says, this is what I decided to do. Now, during extended fasting, discipline becomes much more valuable. Not in a harsh or forceful way, but in a calm and steady way. It's the quiet decision to continue the process you started. Not because every moment feels easy, but because you trust the reason why you began. And one of the most powerful things fasting teaches is patience. The body goes through phases during a longer fast, and the mind goes through phases as well. At first, there is excitement, then uncertainty, then adjustment, and eventually a kind of calm acceptance. When you trust the process, those phases stop feeling like problems. They simply become a part of the journey. And that's when fasting stops being a battle with motivation. It becomes a practice of awareness and discipline. And at the end of the day, Extended fasting is rarely limited by the body, but more often limited by the mind. The stories we tell ourselves, the habits we are used to, the discomforts we are not used to sitting with. But when you understand that motivation will come and go, you stop depending on it and you start building something much stronger. Something like consistency, clarity, and trust in the process. Because the truth is very simple. Motivation might start the fast, but it's discipline and understanding that will finish it. And speaking about extended fasting and learning how to approach it properly, this is exactly why I created my free Skool community called Fasting with Anne. Inside the community, we talk about our experiences with fasting, the challenges that come up during a longer fast, and the lessons we learn along the way. Because extended fasting can feel confusing or even lonely if the people around you don't understand why you are doing it. But inside the community, you will be surrounded by people who are exploring the same journey and supporting each other through it. And that's exactly what this community is about. If that sounds helpful to you, you are welcome to join us. And I hope to see you there.